Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome President, CEO, and co-founder of NVIDIA, Jensen Huang.
Shanghai, ni hao. Today, I would like to introduce you to GeForce GTX 680's 大哥. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce GeForce GTX 690. I'm incredibly proud of the GTX 690. We designed this graphics card from the ground up to deliver the highest performance of any graphics card in history. This particular graphics card, we paid special attention to every single detail so that we could deliver the highest thermal, the highest acoustics, and the highest electrical performance with this particular design. Why don't we take a deeper look? Inside the GTX 690 are two Kepler GPUs. Two Kepler GPUs. Over 3,000 processor cores working together, connected by the SLI multi-GPU bridge. A 10-phase power supply. 10-phase power supply to enable the maximum amount of overclocking. And built on top of a 12-layer PCB. Now, in order to cool 300 watts of GPUs, 300 watts, like 3 light bulbs that fit inside the size of a small shoe. And to do it whisper quiet, we utilize a technology called dual water vapor chambers. These water vapor chambers sit directly on top of the GPUs with nickel-plated fins, so there's no tarnishing, no oxidation. In the center, air is pumped through an actual fan. Each one of the blades are carefully and scientifically designed in order to deliver the maximum amount of airflow while whisper quiet. It runs at 3,000 RPMs and you could barely even hear it. 3,000 RPMs is effectively like your car engine cranking away. Let's take a look at the body. The body is cast aluminum in order to be sturdy and lightweight. The aluminum is bolted down, connecting the chassis, the GPU, the coolers, and creating a duct of airflow so that air could flow naturally and smoothly through the GPU. In the center, injection molded magnesium alloy so that the sturdiness of the magnesium alloy could contain the actual fan without any vibration. And because we wanted to design this graphics card to deliver the maximum amount of performance, and no detail, no design was included unless it enhanced the performance of the GPU, polycarbonate windows formed the final duct of airflow through this graphics card. We're so incredibly excited about this new graphics card and this new design. We call it the GTX 690, and it's the first graphics card with its name imprinted on the graphics card itself. And finally, when all systems are go and it's ready to operate, it gives you that delightful little ding and GeForce GTX turns on. Well, as you can see, the Chinese video game marketplace is vibrant. The innovation of game developers continue as they continue to absorb the technology that we create in our GPUs so that they can imagine and realize beautiful new worlds. As wonderful as the PC industry is and the PC gaming market is vibrant, it is also incredibly complicated. The PC market, for example, is the only market where the platform has a range of performances from a laptop with a GPU all the way to a three-way SLI enthusiast PC. That range of technology, because we continue to drive technology forward, gives the PC the vibrancy of amazing technology. However, it also comes with it mind-numbing complexity for developers. A range of 50 times from a basic notebook with a GPU, a GeForce, all the way to an enthusiast laptop. So how does a game developer create games that can possibly scale to the range of PCs while allowing you to enjoy the games and enjoy it in a way that your PC is capable? The situation is incredibly daunting. There are tens of CPUs, there are tens of GPUs, there are multiple resolutions, there are multiple operating systems, Windows XP, Windows 7, Windows 8 coming out, and there's an incredible number of drivers. When you look at the total complexity that a developer has to consider for PC gaming, we're looking at hundreds of thousands of different configurations. And that's one of the reasons why PC games gives you all of those various settings. The settings allow you to customize your game experience so that you can take advantage of the entire PC that you've spent so much money to buy. Now, these settings comes with it better experience and a scalable experience for different users. However, it also is incredibly complicated for the end user. There are so many different things to consider. Different lighting models, different shadowing models, all kinds of different anti-aliasing capabilities. All of these technologies are really exciting for gamers on the one hand. It's also complicated for gamers on the other hand. So there's many, many configurations of PCs. Each game has many configuration settings, and there are hundreds of games, and they're coming out all the time. It's one of the reasons why we love PC gaming so much. In combination, we're looking at billions of combinations. In order for a gamer to fully configure each game to be perfect for their PC, just imagine the number of configurations that they have to go through. Billions of combinations. And in fact, our research shows that in fact most gamers simply don't have the ability or the patience to configure each one of the games specifically for their PC. That 4 out of 5 gamers simply don't adjust the quality settings that are possible in their games. Well, today, we would like to introduce you to the first surprise, something that you probably haven't thought of us creating. This is a project that has been a very, very fun project of mine for the last 5 years. A very, very dedicated group of engineers at NVIDIA has been working for 5 years now to create what I'm about to tell you about. Today, I'd like to introduce you to GeForce Experience. Let me tell you what GeForce Experience is. There are 2 components to GeForce Experience. First, we recognize that your PCs are now connected to the cloud. We now have a GeForce supercomputer with a vast array of different configurations of GPUs, CPUs, motherboards, operating systems, driver builds, and every game that we can imagine that is coming out. We literally use this data center and this supercomputer to methodically search the perfect setting for each GPU, CPU, motherboard, operating system driver configuration. The second component of GeForce Experience is a console a piece of software, a user interface that sits on each one of your PCs. This console will connect to the cloud and upload the latest driver optimized for that game and the latest settings that the data center, the supercomputer, has discovered for you. It automatically loads it so that when you finally load your game, the settings is automatically perfect. It is the best setting for your GPU. It is the best setting for the laptop that you have. It is the best setting for the PC that you own. It allows you to enjoy the game at its fullest. GeForce Experience, as you can imagine, the data center, the search algorithms, the connection to your PC, and the console that incorporates all of these optimal playable settings was an enormous undertaking for our company. Let me show it to you. So for example, this is a game that has just look at the current settings, the default settings. The default settings are just simply daunting. All these different defaults: item fade, object detail fade, radial blur quality, reflect land, specular fade, distant object detail. All of these different configurations allows the gamer to set their PC to be perfect for Skyrim. But the search for every single PC setting must be nearly impossible. With GeForce Experience, because it's connected to this data center and these supercomputers, we automatically give you the optimal settings. As you can see, the optimal settings are very different than the default settings. This is set for a GTX 450. Let me show it to you. So this is the default experience, about 25 frames per second on a GTX 450. And this is what it looks like optimized. It runs faster, it has more detail, more shrubbery, more bushes than the default setting. The wonderful thing is you could set this default setting without ever thinking about it. You simply click Optimize My PC. Here's another example. This is Aliens versus Predators. This is optimized again for GTX 450. The interesting thing here is that instead of turning on SSAO and shadow quality, GeForce Experience traded that in favor of higher resolution textures, turning on tessellation, and turning on anisotropic filtering. It chose a different set of settings than the default settings that came out. And notice, these options are incredibly technical for an average gamer. By simply clicking Optimize, this is what you get. This is what it was before: Alien versus Predator, default setting, running on a GTX 450. It's not bad, 47 frames per second. However, by simply clicking Optimize and using GeForce Experience, you get much, much more beautiful textures, and it runs even faster. With GeForce Experience, we can now help the gamer, every gamer, all 180 million of them, whether they understand computer graphics or not, to enjoy video games at its fullest and enjoy it in the best possible experience. That's called GeForce Experience. While GeForce Experience gives you the performance of the PC, which is one of the things we love about it, and the simplicity of a game console. You put in the game and it just works. We're going to beta GeForce Experience on June 6th, in just a matter of days. I'm looking forward to showing it to you. While GeForce Experience is coming out just at the right time, because there's a whole new class of wonderful games that are coming out. One of the ones that I'm most excited about is a mech combat game. A mech combat game. This is a game called Haken. If you haven't had a chance, look at the blogs on the web. The enthusiasts are going absolutely crazy about this game. Each one of the mech are completely configurable, and one of the best things I like about Haken, it is free to play. So why don't we take a look at it. look at the physics processing, the destruction that you're seeing. Particle simulations, destruction simulations, the rich geometry. Each one of the mechs, the reason why they're so exciting is because the geometry is so rich. You customize each one of the mechs for yourself. It is free to play. And depending on what customizations, whether it's weapons or decals, you can tattoo your mech. Give it different capabilities. This is going to be one amazing game to play. Okay, thank you, you guys. That's fantastic. What do you guys think? Haken, 12, 12, 12. I can't wait. Well, you just saw for the first time Haken. Let me show you some other never before seen game demos. One of the most sophisticated, one of the most admired game developers in the world is a developer called Crytek. And the CEO, Javad, is one of the most charismatic and the most visionary game developers we've ever worked with. We've been working with Javad. It seems like Javad and I were just kids when we started working together. Why don't we welcome Javad on stage, and I'll say a few more embarrassing things about him.
Hey man.
Javad, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome to Shanghai. Well, you know, we've been working together for a very long time.
Yeah, it's like since 1999.
1990.
Yeah, it's such a big history.
And in fact, we've been working together even before Crisis 1.
Yes, we started actually on Dinosaur Island, where we introduced the the NV20, the GeForce chip that actually changed the gaming world. And this demo was downloaded back then in 99, I think like 7 or 8 million times.
Yeah, in fact,
was
the first that's right. The first demo that you guys created to demonstrate the capability of Crytek was this Dinosaur Island demo. It was in the middle of the ocean.
Yes.
And this island had wonderful water simulations, incredibly beautiful dinosaur, and it was one of the first demos that actually used per pixel lighting.
Yes, it was actually not only per pixel lighting, but also per pixel lighting and shading, which was unheard of at the time. And actually, it took like another 2 to 3 years till games did that, including our game. But it was from a technology achievement. We're still looking back and say, how the hell did we do this?
That's right.
But it was in our collaboration.
Well, if you can imagine how Crytek and NVIDIA worked together to create Crisis 1, the technology inside Crisis 1 and Crisis 2, wait no longer to see what the next generation will bring you. So Javad is so kind to bring to us some demos that are going to be seen for the very first time anywhere. And so, Javad, why don't we stand aside and I'll let you talk.
So we are here to reunite and say we are going to change and shape the future of PC gaming together. And so with CryEngine 3, which is being our core technology, we are pushing now 3 things. It's running natively in DX11. And we have 3 features, which is tessellating of environments, tessellating of characters, and a volumetric approach to lighting and shading of particles in the world. So here what we are seeing is tessellation of the environment. Normally game worlds or game surfaces are actually flat and use kind of normal map approach.
Right.
And today's games and future games are going to tessellate surfaces to a level of detail you only know from CG movie. So it's going to be a huge push.
Real geometry.
It's real geometry.
Not just a texture map.
We will see it now. We will switch to wireframe. And you can see the amount of detail each surface can have. It's just mind-blowing. And it's like you get super silhouette refinements. This is the future of environmental technologies, like for environmental work. And again, also as said, we have the same technology running on faces and characters as well, which, let's jump over to the character actually, just to show that as well. Because I'm super excited about characters and environments. I want to make sure everybody sees that. So yeah, and we have been pushing a character shading for the last 5 years, but we always had the problem of we have everything, the skin shader, the melanin, the hemoglobin, the eyes, everything.
God,
But
look at the eyes. The eyes look like they're real.
yeah, and we said like, how can we do this now finally completely CG quality? And the big difference between CG and real-time computer graphics, gaming graphics, are usually the silhouettes. So if you look at the silhouette, how smooth it is now, through displacement mapping, through tessellation, it just, again, CG quality now. Before that, when we scale down and looking at the eyes, you see the polygonal shape. And if you go to wireframe, you see that, right? Which
That's
is
right.
typically a game graphics. So pushing that forward and achieving lifelike characters, smooth character surfaces, and coupled with advanced subsurface scattering, volumetric shading, eyes, and all kinds of techniques to really push skin and shape is really what
one
we're
of the
working
things
on.
that you guys have done an incredible job here with subsurface scattering. You're able to make that skin look like it's alive.
Exactly.
Instead of just like a brown paint.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and we have a volumetric approach to this. This icing rivals exactly to CG quality. So let's look at the last piece on the CryEngine 3 demo. Among like hundreds of features, we also want to show you an approach to volumetric shading of actually particles. Typically, particles are flat. Like when we just enable particles right now, we're going to see, by the way, this is Sandbox, our tools with what we make games like Crysis and Crysis 1 and 2. So this is how typically, as you can see now with the next-gen shading, you can see how the sunlight, the shadows of the trees are
Look at
actually
that.
scattering
Oh, look at that.
through the particles. That's
That's
unheard of. And that's not a tech demo that runs isolated. That's actually in the context of the whole world.
You could see the shadows on the towers and the silhouette from the geometry
Exactly.
that's there. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's cascading beautifully,
Yeah.
you know, into the volume, into the particles, and the scattering is through, so it's really volumetric. And this is, for example, one of my favorite shots, when you look at how the shadow is traveling, not just through the world, but through the particles. That's next-gen gaming right there.
That's just really beautiful.
So, and as you know, we're not just doing technology, we're doing also games. And so a couple of years ago, we started on a AAA for free online shooter called Warface. And with Warface, we are pushing the boundaries.
Now, before you go there, Javad, you've always had the sensibility that with more advanced technology, you could realize more of your imagination in a beautiful way, in a realistic way. And you've adopted technology faster than just about any developers I've ever known. Can you tell us why that is and how you think about it?
I think it's again, every success comes with strong partners, right? And in our past, we have been really fortunate to work with you. And I'm not just saying that as well. I really mean that, right? And this has been the collaboration of the engineers at the ground level, working with engineers like your people, but also like collaborating at an open space like SIGGRAPH or GDC.
That's right.
And just giving it back and taking in.
That's right.
And being just hungry about innovation.
Yeah.
We
Well,
never want to
look how beautiful it's become.
And by the way, CryEngine 3 is now a free SDK that has been downloaded over 1 million times now.
That's what I want them to see.
Over 1 million downloads. So all of you can download the engine for free and use the same tools that we use at Crytek to build awesome games. Isn't that awesome?
That's amazing. That's amazing. So anybody here could download this SDK and go create a game.
Yeah, this tool's right there is actually real-time and available for free. So just go online and download it.
That's beautiful. Okay, what else do you have to show us?
So
amazing, right, guys? Really amazing stuff.
So a couple of years ago, we started pushing on the online gaming front. And so with Warface, we have a new online FPS, a AAA for free, we call it, because we wanted to bring the Crytek quality to the free-to-play segment.
Now, Warface is a brand new franchise for you.
It's a brand new franchise launching with Tencent in China and with Mail.ru in Russia, Nexon in Korea, and globally with some partners and ourselves. So later this year, it's going to really rock, and I think it's going to shape and change the way online shooters are played forever. It's
well, I can't wait. Let's take a look at this.
Let's have a look. Yeah.
Warface. They like that.
The face of war has changed. Only that which can adapt can survive. Whatever threat we face, whenever Blackwood's shadow falls, our light will shine. Our Warface. If you want easy, you picked the wrong side.
Wow. What do you guys think?
CryEngine 3.
Unbelievable. And so that's free to play. It's coming at the end of the year.
Yes, it's free to play later this year. It's going to launch, and we are super excited about this game. I mean, it's a brand new IP, and again, I'm happy to push the boundaries of online free-to-play gaming with NVIDIA here.
Okay, guys, you got to get your PCs ready for that. Now, that's great. Now, Javad has another surprise for us.
Yes, I'm not done yet.
Another surprise for us.
So, as you know, and as Jensen said, like we started very early in our relationship with NVIDIA, and particularly with Crysis 1, we kicked ass in a big way. Together, I mean. So, and I want to do this again. So, Crysis, our retail flagship, our retail IP, is going to launch in spring 2013. Again, we are very excited on a global level to work with NVIDIA to push the PC retail business. It's an epic science fiction shooter, the third iteration of it. Yeah. And it's going to do what Crysis 1 did. It's going to push the PC graphics.
My recollection is, it's been a while since I've played Crysis, but this is we found in the future this site where aliens had constructed some very important structure there, very huge structure.
Yes.
And we've sent in basically, essentially, what we call nomads, but they're the Delta forces, and they have these amazing suits called nanosuits.
Yes.
And this nanosuit has great technology in it. Why don't you show it to us?
Yeah, I mean, the nanosuit is just going to kick ass. We have a lot of nice introductions, like the new weaponry and the world.
Okay.
So it's a combination of Crysis 1 and a new take on New York.
Okay,
so let's have a look
let's take a look at it.
Yeah.
All right, first time ever shown.
City on Earth, now a spawn of jungle and ruins. They forced us out for the good of mankind, but the Ceph aren't gone. There is one thing left to do. Hunt them all down and take back the city.
God. Woo! Wow, you guys are going to break new ground. Congratulations, Javad.
Jensen, I'm looking
Thank you very much.
Shape the PC gaming's future with you.
Thank you very much,
Thank you very
Javad.
much. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.